Okay, so usually when I get up, right now it's like you're seeing me at physically at my most unawakened state. I am spiritually awake. Um, I hope it was an intuitive dream I had, and it's almost like some people say. Um, I may still put. This is like a third video I may put. I may still put the other two ones that are more triggered, and they might trigger more uh, abuse on me. Yeah, for sure. It's when I am triggered myself, my uh, po- the part of us that is always going to be polar, the part of us that technically feels stress and pain, it's always going to be fight or flight. So that's all you see. You see the solution like an ultimatum, like choose to be good or else you get the karma. But it's similarly, uh, and it's out in the open. If people realize the laws, for example, I'll take an extreme law, and I've given it as an example, and now it came to me in a dream. Instead of the dream being someone close by that's missing or someone that they were looking for, I know where they are. It's the solution is right before our eyes. Because think about it. I thought about this and I made a joke about it. Bill C-63, all right? It says we could predict, in the sense they're predicting without having the knowledge of predicting. Now, with me, when they predicted that I may one day hurt someone, and even now they could still use something like that if there is the law. But meaning is when the intent of the law or the technique, like now, somebody was saying it, how do you know that you don't abuse those laws? Simply because we see the evil intent. We see the children being killed in war, and we see that nobody that's in status, nobody that's in power does anything about it. But that's because the laws are abused, because technically they're trying to root out terrorism. They're trying to stop the illegal drugs. They're trying to take away whatever organization or people stealing from people. Exactly. So when the whole system is about stealing, it's like, for example, the other day I could have thought that I think people, it's hard to show it on a because when it comes to me, I'm a dilemma for them because they're still learning from me, and whether they're learning directly or they know or they're doing it as it's like there's two ways I could see this when I do a video on my channel and there's something that comes out about it on the general news, which I am not personally responsible for that, meaning I won't be given the credit when I see something happening. It's the same thing like with the Trump thing. It happened when they attacked me that they got the karma that Trump is causing. Is it really causing problems? Because it's showing people that the same things I wanted people on The View to say about Biden, they're now saying it about Trump. Is anybody following what I'm saying? So by making Trump, instead of making him a savior or him being who I wanted him to be, someone that says, no, justice is this, not only discovering the toxicity of about the vaccines, but instead of just trying to grab more territory and trying to make his own family bigger and more richer, he would say, no, my dear, if I were Trump, I'd say, no, my dear Netanyahu, you're doing a crime. And unless you realize that it's your fear that's making you want to overpower others with the excuse that they will have nuclear weapons in the future, that's all an excuse. It's like saying they punish me by saying I could one day cause a problem to their system, or I'm defying them, or I insulted them by asking for help for health reasons. I'm sure even them, they know that what they're doing to me, send the agents everywhere to even attack me. And I have my face all full of, I don't know if they did it at the offices because obviously they're gadgets. And now when I have to go pay my rent, just to make sure, because I know they've done it, if they've never would have done it before, given me a paper, made me ill, a paper that they could never have done before they associated with police, then I could even dream that Apopex would be like, things like the fridge, either breaking it when I wasn't being careful with the technique of my door lock, meaning it's not really the door lock, it's knowing whether someone got into my apartment or not. So until I really see now that they come in another time and it's evident, I won't report it. Same thing with the fridge. I can't accuse them of not buying me a fridge because they say, "Oh, we don't do that anymore." They always have an excuse to be evil. And the police, whether the charade that I'm telling you about is they're trying to repair a turn thing, but really it's just to make me feel like as if I did something wrong, because in the end I couldn't pass, so they were punishing me with that instead of delaying the metro for everybody 2 hours, and they're making other people pass, and then when I want to pass, the guy, both of them blocked me. This guy, so you understand what they did is like, it doesn't matter what you feel inside. I could have chosen to wait patiently 5 more minutes instead of try to pass and try to not. I never tried to cut people, not in a real way or in a technical way, and I never felt guilty. I felt angry that never mind that I think they injected me too, and that's why I was angry when I did the video. So this is, I don't even know if it's not that it's not necessary to put the other videos, because I do want to warn people about things about food. They contaminate food. I don't know right now, and as I'm talking about the positive side that's flowing through, I'm realizing that it's going to be very difficult for me if it keeps building up, these things that they're making me eat, inject with, if that is going to destroy my body and make me die a slow death, which not if there's more of a 75% chance that that's what's going to end up doing. I'm not going to bother again showing it for various reasons, how my blood looks. And I had only a glimpse because I couldn't even get a dropout. Talk about being beautiful. It's like, I don't know what it is that my blood, in some ways, it bleeds sometimes because of the stressor, like without reason, even out of my nose or my mouth. Not now, but like a few weeks ago. And I don't know if it was the extreme products or just viruses or both. Put it this way, it doesn't matter, because even if I'd find out now my blood is very contaminated through, and I'd show you what would it change, just like I show you that it's not normal. Now I think they improved their tactics, because I bought honey and it was at a place where it's a nature store and it's a nature company. But when I touched it, it seemed like honey. It was sticky. It wasn't viscous too much. But when I took even small portions in coffee or the sugar, I don't know. Sometimes there's so many products that be contaminated. I just gave an example, and I don't want to mention all of it in case I want to be sneaky and say buy them. And instead of showing a video how contaminated they are, like I did one with my pizza pockets too from McCain. They were not normal. That's another example, and I won't give any more. So sometimes I have to go, oh yeah, water from Italy, it was contaminated at the same store where after they were nice, which I won't say the store's name. So even in Little Italy, if it's a store that I went more than once, even if it's a product from Italy, somehow they contaminated. This is how I know I am already the sacrificial lamb. I am already dead, in other words. Whether I'm dead, because it doesn't matter right now. Uh, I don't know, because the only time I could meditate a little bit was after 3 days that I hardly ate. I was home. I was calculating every drop of water, double filtered, boiled, and not filtered. And I don't want to go into explaining how I did it, but I ended up not eating too much foods, because everything I buy in the area, or everything I buy even out of the area, most of it is like the donut really surprised me. But the thing is, when it's something really that it could cause me renal failure, like I literally was saying, like when I bit into the donut, or I drank even like a drop of the water allegedly from Italy, I felt right away the damage it's doing to my body. So I am gonna probably die slowly, painfully. And the idea that now that it's a few days, whether it's permanent or not in my system, right now there's so many things that have been injected in me. Maybe it's temporary, but at least, oh my God, I got it. This is the one that I don't know if it got reactivated from someone at McDonald's, like a few, or it's a new one from the door, or when I went to Apopex. They kept, and they know it's illogical. They pretended they were going from one, because they have offices on one side when I go in, there's a little corridor, and then there's a door, and there's another door. So there's offices from one or the other. So I I I don't remember the other office. Why do the other office was still similar, I think. But anyways, they pretend to go from one office to the other. They come close, they smile, and they have something, I don't know, in their clothes, something that's weaponized that just sprays my face because everywhere else I'm covered. And I don't know why I take it out. But even with I notice sometimes, especially when it's a vehicle, I don't know if this is from the guy in the metro that was with the machine, not only to block it, but to inject me, just like when it was at anyway, see, I'm going back to the polar thing, but I'm saying not for me, but for the people that are still alive. If by 2030 or 2032, the world is still under a sort of uh, organized, like a dictatorship, like a dystopia, what the dream inspired me, and I won't say the details of the dream because it's complicated. Uh, but technically, is like you could be, unless they well, what they're doing to me, if they do it, like people that have the vaccine, they all have things in their body that, I don't know if it prevents them from meditating. See, that's the thing, is people say that at certain level you can't stop. Not really the meditation, but I don't know, because it's debatable that depending on what level you're at, depending, it's so complex that the body reflects the spiritual. But when the physical is poisoned, obviously it's like saying, why do you have to have, when you eat greasy foods, when you have bad, diet, you you get sick even with cholesterol and die. But that's the biological physical stress of the body. But the flow of chi, that's what I'm trying to say, the almost like the, I forgot the name they gave them in Star Wars. That I said that's the closest to it. When you have midichlorian, something like that in your blood. Well, these things that they put in me, trust me, since they've been injecting me, I think if I wouldn't have been injected with these things that make me itch, and also some of them, I think there's some type of nanites, I would have already maybe progressed to a very high degree of meditation. Like now, it's not only about dying, but it's about, before dying, my body has no chance of using any of the talents that I have. And this is the horrors that I'm living. I lived it before because of a body infection when I was very young, and it took me like 30 years to clean that out of the body. But that was with regular meditation and vitamins. Now the frequency of the morphic field is so high. It's so high that, and also for other reasons, it's like I feel, even now that I feel my body so poisoned. And like I said, everything I'm eating, probably yesterday they were again weird. Like I said, I went to my door, like in summer, I wasn't even able or courageous enough to open the window and feel those things, even though the heat was immense and I was about to faint. I chose being close to not breathing and fainting from the heat, 40, 50 degrees, when you're inside and there's no windows open and ventilation, yes, but it could only bring up, cool down the temperature to a certain level. If every air particle in the apartment is by getting in by outside without any, like recondition, that's why it's called air conditioning. Then I had a horrific summer, and every time I go out, I sweat. Even now that it's cooler than 50 degrees, but when it's not minus 30, and even when it's minus 30, uh, I sweat, because for me, it's so many plastic layers that have to be waterproof. So I end up sweating and then getting even more sick when it's cold. So, okay, so I'm explaining the negative part more than the positive part, because obviously my expressiveness is physical, so my body is so dreading suffering more and becoming, not only that I suffer and die, but that before I suffer and die, I can't be free with the soul. It's going to be always incarnated. It's almost like I'm already a Borg, and probably they have nanites in me. Probably I'm 99% and more sure. I've seen it, and all I can tell you is I've seen my blood, and it's not nor normal blood anymore. And this is my truth, and this is the idea that even amidst this horrific things that I just told you, and we might all be trapped in a not only injected with things that trace us or brainwash us or control. And the people who are not brainwashed, that's where I say there's freedom. There's freedom even within a dystopian system, meaning is a lot of us or some of us, depending on the level of the change, because technically what I was trying to say is like what they say on TV is good, is for good change. They say, yeah, we're going to improve. Not only Pagliere or something that some of it may be political. They might replace Trump in 3 years with someone that's similar to him, but more honest, but satisfying the leftist, democratic, liberal system. Meaning you could be liberal and good as long as you do good. It's like me. I'll give you an example. What they did to me was stamped horrific because the intent was to punish me, not to help me, not to check if I was really mentally ill, because they knew very well I had 0% mental illness. And that's why everything I say, they confirm. When I say there's undercover police in so many places, now they're confirming it on TV to show, because they know that even if it's only a few people, or even let's say at most 70, 80 people that regularly follow my channel, and even if the numbers don't show, just by the views, if by word of mouth, there happens to be a few hundred people every couple of weeks that talk about some of my videos that are like this. It's enough to add to the morphic field that even if you're trapped within a body that has no resonance to the spiritual world, or even if you're trapped in jail, but if the people that jail you, that the laws they use, a bit like ICE, if they would really find only the criminal people, technically you could presume they might exaggerate, because if they hurt people that are not violent, and see, you're seeing it from the leftist point of view. So when it comes to ICE, I agree what I saw was a crime. But I see it also in my videos. But why don't they investigate my videos in Montreal? That's what I said to people. Try to make my videos go viral. A lot of people say that they record my videos, but the only people that confirm they record every single one of my video is to try to twist them to me being bad or a danger to society. So it's always about a lie upon a lie. Just like when I was passing, they give me the energy of trying to make me feel guilty. But how can I feel guilty when I know I'm not? How can you call me crazy when I know I'm not? And it's the furthest from reality. Whatever is being done now to me is the worst of the worst. That's what I mean. Is in war, whether they kill or torture or like Greta Thunberg, everybody knows they tortured her, even the people that just hate her because she speaks up for the environment. But she wanted real environmental change. I think at one point she did say it. She goes, they pretend to care about the environment, but all they're doing is trying to, like batteries, they're worse, but they want to make them electric when they're more toxic, and they even blow up, and they even show people dying in their electric car, because it's all about lies on top of another lie on top of. But going back to the laws, Bill C-63, if people change inside, that Bill C-63 could become functional again, which they don't even need it. Well, no, in that one they did need a warrant, but let's just say, okay, they don't need a warrant. They won't do a crime if they're good. So even though the law is extreme for the people that are going to be left on the planet, still, meaning is, what I'm trying to say, police, is that the laws that you're twisting and using to hurt innocent people now, because you want to create the secret that you're not corrupt. One day you won't be corrupt. So meaning, what I'm trying to say is that I may be a sacrificial lamb, other people or whoever ends up getting killed, like so many people died, whether I'm going to reincarnate or in another body that's more free of the targeting and torture, that's an option. Or from the morphic field, I could even try to change the people that hurt me instead of hurt them. Just like sometimes it looks like as if I want revenge, and my human part obviously wants, and it desires it so much. Just because I control it, police, not to hurt you, it doesn't mean I don't have the animalistic urge. Imagine, police, if, like I said, I asked you for help in a way you didn't like, only a little bit, even in a legal way, it's totally legal, which the laws are already stupid, and you're so angered that you have to make my life a lot worse than prison or psychiatry, because what I'm living now is beyond. I don't know how it is to be permanently in psychiatry or in prison, and physically I agree it's a lot more limiting, but right now I'm not free at all. No one wants to talk to me. In a psych ward, some people that are they're stuck. They will. I had more social life when I was in the hospital, especially the last time, which was a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was more then than I have now because nobody wants to call me because they don't want to say, look at those videos. He's always checked if his food is poisoned, he's harassed, he's tortured. We don't want to be around. So this is what I'm trying to say is that even being trapped physically and even me suffering and dying, even if I don't feel my meditative state anymore, because now it's building up so much, it could go either way. Either by some, if you want to call it miraculous reason, my body changed. But the way they have attacked all my food source everywhere I go, they know the store. It's like I say, I use the thing with the Borg, that when you fire a laser at them, one of them goes down, and then the other ones put the shield. So one time I go in a store, I could eat, and the second time it's already lost. Imagine once I exploit, even with a bus pass, once I find all the stores that have food that I could afford and that I could enjoy or whatever or needs. Once I go once, they could find a way, maybe not the whole company every time, but either way, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Especially like water and bread, the basics. When you poison those, even if I get a can right now, I'd have to eat. And like yesterday, I was tempted to eat without bread because it's just, it's like you don't know what I don't technically know to what level, because right now I was feeling sick, but was I feeling sick from an injection or from the new honey? Because sometimes you eat it and you don't feel it right away. Like when it's the water, I could tell you right away because water is supposed to make you feel fresh and all. When it makes your mouth feel like sand and you feel your kidneys failing almost right away, then I know I'm going to probably die. But until I die, will I be able to stay in my interior happiness? Because never mind the fact that sometimes I get adrenaline, and even though I bitched yesterday and I told them to stay away, I wasn't after them. I was just saying stay away and please, and being a bit rude, because that's how the things they injected me, not only do they make me suffer and not be able to meditate, but they stimulate that fight or flight. So when they follow me everywhere I go, they show me even my door. I can't open my. Then I say, then I'm like bitter, and that's why they want to make me seem mentally unstable. By doing that all the time, sooner or later, either I die or I break down mentally. That's the most impossible one, meaning I'll probably die before I break down mentally. Please, I'm not saying I could resist all these products. No, then I'd be delusional. If I say right now they could do whatever they want to me, I'm spiritual, I'm strong. Like my brother said with his delusional religion, I won't call it out, but all religions are delusional. That's why I won't say the specific one, but some people might know what religion is. So he says, God protects me. I said, you know what Jesus said to the devil when he tempted him to jump off the mountain? I've told that to someone in my building. Someone that his name starts with P. That's not. It's just a joke. It's a joke with truth in it. So I said, don't tempt your. It's like saying at some level I could even become like Jesus, that you don't die and your body is energy. But that's a theoretical, even if it is possible. It's almost like teleportation. Until you see it, me, I'm like that. Aliens, yes, there's more of a chance that they exist than they don't. But are they here? Did people really shoot aliens? Do they have spacecraft? It's irrelevant to me, because the lies are so deep. It could be really happening, just like these people say, lizard this and this, that. It doesn't really matter, because the good energy is winning. It's beyond winning. So I don't know if the world is gonna go that if people don't want to cause nuclear war, they have to accept being jailed. And I don't mean jailed behind bars. If people don't think I'm jailed right now, I have military personnel on both my sides, maybe not all the time there, but that they have access to the apartments upstairs. Then you have exterminators. Then you have these people that have quadriceps. That's how they call it, a mushroom type that, who knows, one day I may turn into a zombie, or a zombie that's going to say, just like I'm saying now, even if it happens, it's not a bad thing. If they change, they're going to use those laws for good. Meaning, I could be right now talking as an alien, talking as a zombie, expressive zombie. I mean, well, because you don't know how bad I feel. Just because I'm talking nice now, it doesn't mean I don't feel worse than I want to. Because it's not that I'm feeling bad, it's that I'm feeling that I have no control over my body. I have control over my actions. I have control over what I say, and that it's truthful. or at least I believe so. That's what makes you. But I have no control to how I feel and how my body's getting worse. Like right now, I feel it that I'm nauseated. I'm like numb, and it's not working my body. And they have so much stuff in me. It's disgusting what they're doing, and they're enjoying it obviously because, like I said, if they shoot me, it would look bad. Like only one shooting, the people start losing. If it's something like me that they know it's years that I'm reporting that they're tormenting me, at least I can show the marks of the secret torture. But people easily want to believe that the system has some kind of limit or moral. No, once TV, and like I said, I've seen it only on one station. I won't repeat it. It doesn't mean the other ones didn't show it. So let's just say if it's on one news that is on TV, narrative or paid, or it's on all of them. But they know that the information is on the internet, and it's scientists, whistleblowers. Like people say, I put one of them that had to do with, again, I think it's from Redacted, with these nanites, and they tested it. Literally, that the people were giving off an energy even when they were dead. And it wasn't a psychic energy, it was an electromagnetic that maybe it was also a bit if they were but I don't think a whole group of people is advanced that even after their body dies they could make their body cells vibrate electromagnetically. I think it's only a bioengineered thing, and it's made to make us be traceable no matter what you try to change your tech, take away the chip. If we ingest through air, water, food, particles that are metallic that give off a signal, then we're effed. There is no way you could go that they can't trace you. Maybe not every officer, every system now has it already to track, but it's eventually going to get there. It's like computers. Before there was one in the school and nobody had them. Now people have them home more than in the school. So that's what I mean. So this is what I'm trying to say. It's going to be an interchange, but it's always a soft change. By 2032, even if the world starts going towards dismantling all the monetary system into something more ecologically friendly and more honest and less invasive of the body and giving people a choice, equality. Pierre Parlier was saying some words that were beautiful that I heard, and they were mocking him on, sometimes they mock, almost like when I was seeing on Global that they were always saying that people were aggressive, or whatever, the general narrative. But then they go, there's, I heard someone say it almost like, hey, bro, there's a demonstration at Jerry. So all I could say, and I think one time I did speak to somebody from Global. I'm not trying to put down the other stations, but again, it would be for me delusional to think one station is better than another one in the general funding and narrative of what they have to put out there. So still for me, I think in general, even if they don't lie now, because truth is more valuable than lies, it's always a lying system. It's always gaslit. It's always with bad intent. It's like police. They'll smile at you. They'll be kind, whether they're injecting me or they're really helping me. Or I know I could tell the smile, but somebody else wouldn't have been able. Oh, that officer was nice to you and told you everything is okay. Because that's what happened when I was staying 9 days, that they didn't attack me. And then they attacked me when I went to the mall because I was speaking about it in the community center, that the police torments me. So, and even me, I hate how they make me feel, because in the moment, I do hate you, police, but I don't hate you with intent. I hate you out of like fight or flight. It's almost like I don't like screaming. I don't like bitching about pain. But when you put my hand on a fire, ow, it hurts. So this is in that way, police, I hate you, because I know you leave me no way not to hate you or even try to hurt you. If you're attacking me and it's illegal, but you're still doing it with gadgets or secretly coming, obviously my first instinct is to get away. But if you don't let me get away, obviously, that's why I say, if one day they said I was aggressive or that I was out of control, it was just me trying to avoid them and them trapping me wherever I go like a caged animal. Even that's how you see that yesterday. Today is the 4th, on the 3rd or the 2nd. I think I went out 2 days ago. When I went out, it was like a caged animal. Everywhere I go, there's vehicles trying to. That's the psyops. In fact, I don't know when I got caught, because it could have been because it was irrational for the same lady within 3 minutes that I'm waiting for my receipt. And I'll say it was Sarah. She comes close to me, smiles, and then now I have all these things. So I don't know if it was her or that guy with the machine, but evidently it was to try to be a bit like whether they attack, I'm not saying they always attack me. When I used to go to Maxi, now they sort of, I think they stop, but see, they always change their tactic. So whatever I report, it's not that it's false. It could change at any moment. They have so many ways of tormenting me. So obviously, if I wouldn't be extremely powerful in energy and over my cellular toxicity, meaning my instinct and my resolve and my confidence is beyond human, obvious. What I mean by human is beyond the frequency of people that are not awakened. So different that right now I could be dying and still being, until I pass out, I'm still a good person. But in the moment that I'm physically walking and you need a bit of adrenaline, you need a bit of flow of blood, and I need a lot of coffee to get these itchiness to stop. So if I'm attacked, even if it's in a gaslit secret way, and I know I'm in danger because of how bad I feel now in my forehead, it feels almost like a punch. And I don't know, one of them is on the right side. If it was that guy, because sometimes they don't show as red and big as in the past, but I feel them under the skin even days after. And I don't know if it's the toxic or because I get poisoned from water, air, and I don't know which ones, and sometimes they stop with some. I admit the air is not as bad as it used to be, and I don't bleed intensely, but I don't know if I maybe those machines or whatever. I don't know because who would investigate the apartments? Who has the authority? It's the police in general. So if they're the ones doing this, that's where I say, what's the point of me complaining to the STM or making a new complaint to Station 26 or the general police about what happened with that vehicle 2635 that did a shark attack on me. Opened the window, and the guy didn't even smile and didn't say, "Oh, you look like somebody we're looking for." He didn't try because he knew if he was bullshitting, even if I wasn't recording, I would know. But because I was recording, he specifically didn't talk. So this is what I mean. They attack me and they laugh at my face, even when they're not laughing because they hurt me. Just like when they're silent, it's suspicious. Like the guy, I looked at him and he was silent. And then I dared say, are you working for the police? And then his buddy got mad because I'm not even allowed asking him. This is how horrific. Never mind reporting it because then I wasn't filming. When they got mad at me on the 2nd or something of February. But this is what I mean is, what would you do in my place? It's hard for me to stay peaceful all the time, speak like this when I'm being hunted constantly like the human prey. So police, you have to understand, people will know if one day you report that I attacked an officer. It wasn't an attack, it was a defensive, trying to get away move, because I never defensively seek. Even when I'm tempted, when my energy is a little more in control, and just to try to teach the person, I should be following you and attacking you because you attacked me now, whether it's going to kill me or it's like saying, are you punch a guy in the metro, like the way I was punched, even though you don't punch him in the face and he's not bleeding or he's not knocked out. If you punch someone, they will hurt you and you will have deserved that being hurt back. Even if somebody's out of control and sends you to the ER or kills you, who initiated that? This is where the police doesn't understand. No, or they do, but the people watching my videos don't understand how near to impossible it is for me to keep my calm and especially not attack them. That I have a choice, because if it's not like them hitting me with a stick or a taser or punching me or trying to grab me like the STM did on video, maybe they did it even then sneakily because they had an idea I could have been filming. That's why the guy was flashing the light in my face so I couldn't aim the camera properly, because they knew they were attacking me, even though they put a gadget on their hands. They just came close to try to say, as if they were trying to calm me when they were following me. If I was going after them and that would have been different. But I was backing away, say, okay, I'm leaving. You don't want me to film, I'll leave. But no, they weren't satisfied with that. They had to inject my hand. So this is where I mean that it's organized crime, very organized. And this is why the karma is going to increase. That's what I'm saying. It could either go with war. I'm not talking about me. Once I lift a finger to even defend myself, they'll probably kill me and say I attacked them. Obviously, that's why I'm saying it in these videos. I don't know if they're going to go that way like right today, but eventually they could go with that. Or eventually, what I'm just saying now, the symptoms of food, air, water, my kidneys or whatever, even if it's not my kidneys, I'll probably, and even if I don't, I just stay, because if they're in probably those liquids, it could be what's that thing lithium. It could be something like that. They're putting in those things. So I'll be like not able to meditate. I'll be eventually meditatively zombified, meaning even though I have awareness and I know I'm right and I know they're evil, I just can't do anything about it. I don't have the energy or the flow of chi to do anything rebellious. So that's another. So there's so many things that gives them the advantage on 3D, and this is where I'm telling them. But the karma is not on this level. The karma sees all, knows all, just like the Q. Karma is like the Q, but it doesn't choose who to bug or torment. Did you ever see the Q when he was tormenting the calamari and having spaghetti with them? I don't know why they called them the calamari. It sounds like the calamari. It's so stupid. The science fiction is funny too. So they were called the calamari, and Q goes like, don't think that spiritual people have that delusion of being like Q, because that's a perverted way of seeing. If you'd have omnipotence to go like this and make something appear, a whole race, even if it's not like humans, you would have the moral fortitude. That's what I'm saying. If the world turns, the morphic field is spiritual, and the spiritual knowledge of the Kalki, whoever that's supposed to be, the Buddha, Jesus, which is the same thing, reincarnation, that's already, the guy's already born. He'll be 21 in 2032. So you do the calculation how old he is now. So he's in his, preteens, tweens, peens. So whatever age he is now, he'll be 21 by 2032. He's not going to be 32 by 2030 or something. So by 2032, that's the general narrative, if there is. But you know what, that not Sadhguru, I think he didn't even mention this clearly, but he mentioned the change he hopes that he's going to get to see. He's like me. He's like live day by day. He goes, I hope in this lifetime we will get to see truth govern, not governors or authority become the truth. The truth is the authority. Like, I know every word I've spoken. That's why they follow the advice. And they know that there's a lot of people checking my channel and checking what's on the news. The news is becoming equivalent to my channel, except for my personal torment, persecution. Because as much as I'm saying, if I was a person who have had a sporadic incidents with an officer and somebody wanted to make a complaint, it was going to go through, maybe not being done perfectly because it wasn't me. But the moment I mentioned my name, if the people that were kind became cold and distant, just like the protector, once they knew, because they're not going to give them my name that I'm a targeted system, but once they talked with the police, they said, no, this one is beyond the regular system of illusion of goodness. This guy is going to be even publicly executed, but we are not going to let him go. That's how I'm getting. If after all the karmic visuals and statistics that they see, and I've heard the officer of the RCMP not be confident when he said, no, I don't believe in karma, but his voice said, yeah, even if so, but it doesn't matter. That's what he meant, because I'm sure they know karma exists. Are they putting their head in the sand? They look at karma a little bit like when you could predict the future. Like, you could have a dream, and like in my case, sometimes it could even come true, but can you change it? Or is the dream a fear that may not happen if you know of it already? So, meaning is they know they lost. They know the energy is so big, but they don't want to look at that. Because when someone that meditates for, I don't know how many years, 50 years, this guy has Guru Nath or something like that. And he said, he goes, let's see if it's true. He goes, this is what they predicted. And it was when he said Hare Krishna, something because everybody is programmed, and also a lot of them are there just for money. But I went to the Hare Krishna Center, and I ate there with some friends that were spiritual, and the food is good, and everybody's nice, and there was no drugs in the food. So a lot of people say rumors. I don't know, because I sense a weird vibe from the Hare Krishna. Maybe it's the vibe of the people believing that there's something wrong with them. Same thing with when people say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I don't know what it's called, a Church of Jesus. For me, maybe the people really feel resourced in that, but it's a brainwashing and it's a demonic energy that I could tell you. Not necessarily. It's like saying, it's hard to explain. It's like saying the false light. when we believed that you had to repent and that you're originally born sinner. And a lot of people thought that. Even my family, at some point, they were believing things like that. They were going to centers, and when I was doing tarot cards and doing meditation, my father, my mother, they said, "Oh, this priest said we have to evaluate you. We have to exorcise the demons from you." It was stupidity. That's what I'm saying. In that sense, if the bill C9, I'm against it technically because it doesn't leave us in power. But if the people that are going to be in charge are going to change, if the police could show me right now, because me, I believe in the present frequency, because if the present frequency outweighs the past, if the police would show me that they would stop hurting me and smile, not with fakeness, or not try to entrap me when I pass the metro, maybe make the machine break and give me a chance to say, "Oh, well, the machine is broken, I'll wait in line myself," not block me wherever I try to pass. And if the guy would have let me pass the second time, I would have said, I passed, or I never cut anybody. That's the point. But you know what I'm trying to say? If they give me a chance to be humble, they know I have been humble. Even in the moments they torture me, when I bump into people that either have to pass before me, an old lady taking it, they know that I'm always able to be nice. So they know I'm not a danger to them. This is why I'm saying, police, if you continue doing this and people watch this video, you're proving to people that you're so evil that there's no debating that there absolutely needs to be a physical, violent revolt. I don't know if people are. I'm not saying, I'm suggesting that, hello, because that officer, no matter what I said about the Fed, if people still get that I'm trying to promote violence, then you're really just gaslighting yourself too. So you understand what I'm trying to say, police? Huh? So you know you don't need to do that. But if you only keep on staying in that energy that they want me to feed their evil, you'll have me reporting, I'm dying this. But I'm not saying I'm dying like in anger or fear. I'm just saying, yes, I'm dying right now. There's no doubts about it. Am I dying now? Do I have a triage of 9? No. But I do feel my body can't take this polluted food and injections every day. You don't understand that even if it's not something that they could trace fatal, it is killing me. Some things in my body are not right. And am I maybe in a fear state? Maybe not fear like energy-wise, but logic fear, meaning if they're doing everything to hurt me, I'll eventually die. But promoting me to feel ashamed or feel guilty when I'm trying to pass, and even if I jump over the metro, I only feel not. I feel like I'm disrupting the order of the system. If I don't pay and jump, that's another thing. And I won't say whether I ever did it or not because I don't like lying. But if I do something even technically illegal, I did it with spiritual, moral, and legalness. You understand where I'm going at. If we're not allowed to defend ourselves, I'll still defend myself. That's what I'm trying to say, even though technically I agree with the police, meaning, or with the law, saying you only use the force necessary. Either you try to escape or use necessary force, not unnecessary. Meaning, police, practice what you say, but not what you do. Because the guy tried to crush a guy between two cars, and even on TV they said they think it was extreme force. You don't have to crush someone because they're wielding a knife, unless they're trying to aim, throwing it at you. And even then, you have shields, right? I use shields every day, police. Maybe they might not be like the fantasy one that I was trying to make. I don't want to say what I did there to check out the police. Really, I don't want to say spies on me and targets me and believes in their own fears. So maybe they really, really feel that I'm guilty. But how could I be guilty, police, of trying to pass there? That was a bullshit for what? For me? How can you convince me of trying to pass ahead of other people when I always let people pass first on the bus? And when you're blocking my machine, and I told the guy, hey, the machine doesn't work, let me go through. Why is it that work? Because the first time it was the guy that blocked it. The second time it was the guy from the turn thing. So the crime they did, for me to explain it, they would have to admit they did it on purpose. Oh, sir, you just had a misunderstanding. They could reach that point. If they investigate that, it's not like they punched me hard. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing they would have to do, that people are witnesses, plus the cameras, they're honest enough to see. Because what they did was all charades. but their charade is more valid. When they say I'm crazy totally now, or not in that way, they say I believe my delusions. Marks on my body, I do them myself. That is so evil. Never mind that now. Oh my God, how much they're so evil that's what I'm saying. They're still selling that. If I say that I went to the hospital and they attacked me, they say, look, he put a needle in his arm when he went home, and he says it's us. That's all they know to do. But when it comes to the law, Bill C-63, for example, psychically predicting a crime, that could be used for good if they reestablish. If the person applying that law is going to check the person accusing me of being crazy, they would have just said, if they would have shown that in front of a judge, the judge would have been psychic and honest. If it's in a utopia, let's say 30 years from now or 40 years, the judge would have said, no, Mr. Such and Such Warlock is not guilty because I think you're lying and you're trying to set him up. And he would have not stamped it to make the point. You understand what I'm saying? If you could understand that, because I don't even understand how it would be applied. Just like if there's spiritual change, how is the economy going to be? Because now the economy is evil. Money isn't evil, but the way it circulates and the penalty system and the reward system is totally off, totally not spiritual. And even Stephen Greer talks like me. If you see Stephen Greer and he talks about, well, soon there's going to be technology and the good aliens are going to, everybody wants to believe. It's not like the movies, but yes, good always wins in the end. And it's not just fantasy and it's not just a movie, it's reality. Because all there is God and we're all connected. So either way, just like the Terminator, the alchemist said, for God, when you're at that higher state, that's why I could face the police and be teaching you police, because in some ways, not on 3D obviously, but in some ways I'm not even on your scale of power, meaning you have nothing on me. That's why you can't convince me of doing a crime. How can you convince me of doing something that I never did or I'd intend to do? Even if you charade it, even if you take my hand, even if now the nanites control me one day, let's just say they inject a chip and I end up chopping up babies and kittens and eating them for supper. People will see it by my eyes, or if there is a psychic energy in the world that dominates or that is aware, it will be able at one time to declare it, even on TV or the media or internet, that I am totally pure of heart and never did one thought or act of crime or evil, anything. Maybe one point I was a little mischievous, or I'm not going to go there, but that's like beyond 20 years. I mean, for 5 years, even if you kill someone and it's hard to prove, or meaning, you know what I'm trying to say. Certain things they could say, like they say, after 1 year, you don't report it, you can't anymore. But that's not the one of the year, the one they do always. So it's a really complicated one. There's other ones that I may or may not put. I don't know. I just don't know what to do to wake them to be less physically criminal towards me. That's basically, because obviously being provoked is not a fun way to live. And it's not, it doesn't make me meditate. Even if I could meditate, that they didn't fill up my body with I mean, with what they've contaminated, they don't need to do extra following. But them, they want to make sure there's not one drop of freedom or place where I could be at ease. That's what they want to, that's why they want the prison to be more than a solitary, meaning they want me, even though technically I have a bus pass and I could go all around Montreal, wherever I go, I feel more than into a little booth, because there's always, it's always, they have so much staff against me. They're going to regret it one day, because they could have put that staff. Maybe one day they'll say, well, if those agents weren't after him, they maybe would have been after that person that detonated that bomb and also killed some relative of the police or someone in parliament. And this, again, I'm not projecting and wishing it, but if karma chooses to make something horrible like that happen, or the people giving the orders get some kind of accident or cancer, or someone with a knife with intent to hurt them somehow, because I'm not predicting it and I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen, see? But when it already happens in the past, meaning when the police does something to me, then somebody else not long after. When I mean not long, a few months is not long in the Kali Yuga type state, meaning in the millennia or eons of God or the universe. So when they hurt me, they get it back. So why can't they see that? It's as simple as that. They hurt me in the hospital and I happened to fall on the periodic synchronicity that Trump won. And technically, he was slated to lose, even by his own staff, even by his own people. Technically, think about it, because Kamala got so much support and money and advertisement from Taylor Swift and all that. So this is where you have to understand that it doesn't matter what you do to us physically, police. It matters to my avatar. It matters to the part of me that cries, "Oh, look, police!" Yes, I still, maybe I'm not crying, and maybe I'm not. It takes a lot more effort for you to make me be in that panic or frustrated or even hateful temporarily state. But yes, sometimes I am hateful because I hate what you're doing to me, not of your soul, police. I hate what you're doing to me, and I simply cannot understand when it's so clear. It's almost like pearls in front of pigs. You see that I'm right. You're not stupid. Fatty is not stupid. The RCMP officer are not stupid. The news are not stupid because everything I reported, they repeat. Even with when it comes to, I even heard about the residential school. Everything I said in my videos comes out in practically all news stations. I didn't check all of them, and sometimes I don't want to go there. But the point is, there is going to be more truth, whether it's done in a gaslit way to reassure people that they're becoming more honest and they have more transparency and accountability. Yes, they might go that way, whether it's for honesty or not. But their pretend might become real. This is, I took like 51 minutes and 11 seconds and counting for me to state that what they pretend when police pretends to be nice and governments pretend to make rules and change the budget to make us live better, whether they, like now, Carney, he's going to give some help for the GST, whether he does it just to show and then has plans to further do some kind of new virus or new way to pandemify us, is regardless. But if he does something good, that's how one day you'll do it with really good intent, not just to do a magician's trick to not show you what the trick is, right? And that's why magic is more popular than real magic, meaning the real magic of nature, because it's easier to play with the one on physical because you just control it. And the illusion of control, the illusion of having love and family and friends to support you, is why it's failing, because people still believe we have to be. But it does work, even because when everybody believes, there's already a reality structure. If people are in a big group now believing you have to follow what that book or the Bible or whichever, if you're with other books or other religions. So that's why it becomes that AIPAC has power over people kissing a wall, because it's the narrative, and whether they believe it or not, they're doing it. But the people that believe it feed the energy, just like the thing in Toronto, and I'm happy it happened in Toronto. That research, just look at that research, 12 people that create a ghost. Instead of summoning one, they created one. That's where you see the creative power of thought and belief. So then there's also sensing. When people are spiritual, they don't believe anything because they want to stop creating dystopia on 3D. So if you believe something without proof, that's why I say whether Jesus is born or not and is going to be helping the world change to a spiritual nature by 2032 is regardless. The frequency I believe in is only truth, meaning you're always trying to peel the onion to the source, the core. That's why in one video that I probably didn't put, I said something like, truth will always outpower lies. You can't escape it, police, Applepex. You can't. And in a way now, even reporting, showing my other videos that are more, they're technically real because I talk about, but I don't even know if I should show them. And in fact, I might delay them for a while and I'll just report the visuals and the technicality. Like now, even now, I explained what happened, but not from a polarized point of view. I explained what happened in the metro. They were either trying to just break me down, but also at the same time feed on me a little bit. I saw their eyes. They were hungry for me to say, I'm sorry. You'll never hear me say I'm sorry when I did nothing to be sorry for. I'm not sorry, even for my suffering and my horrific persecution. It is worth it because I'm helping you too. I'm giving you a chance now, Apopex, my dear, enjoying Sarah smiling at me and attacking me. Maybe, maybe not, but it was at least torment because they came in my face like 3-4 times, all the people showing. Next time I'll have an umbrella. Be careful of an umbrella because the tip is maybe not sharp, but it could hurt you. And I'm not going to be running after you, but I'm going to be going closer, just like police when I say I am backing away and protecting me. You will not be able to approach me without looking guilty. Meaning, if you want to attack me, that's what I meant, police, by a shield. Because if I have an umbrella outside, the wind is going to break it. That's why I haven't, because it's simple. I could see through it. I want to get a plastic shield, not because it has to stop bullets, but it has to stop these injections, because those you're doing every day to me, and that's going to kill me and maybe even make me help the war start. You see me sometimes, I'm saying, I wish Putin to, and when I wished it, it happened. He did send an interballistic missile, maybe not with nukes, maybe not to the United States or Canada, but he sent it exactly the day after I wished it. Again, shouldn't that make your boots tremble a little, or whatever, shake in your boots? I would. I am even shaking of my own words. So please believe me. I know. I'm not trying to